Have you ever poured your heart into someone, into a relationship, into a workplace, only to feel invisible? Have you ever given your best energy, your purest love, your sincerest effort, yet received silence in return? My friends, the most painful truth in life is not rejection, it is being ignored where your soul is fully invested. And today, I want to remind you, your energy, your love, your devotion, they are not cheap. They are sacred gifts from God. Never waste them where they are not valued. In this life, every one of us is a vessel of divine energy. Our time, our love, our care, our dedication, they are extensions of God working through us. When we give them, we are not just doing a favor to someone, we are offering a piece of our divine self. But here's the truth. When you keep giving where there is no respect, when you keep shining your light where no one even bothers to notice, you don't just drain yourself, you insult the divinity within you. God never created you to be invisible. He created you to radiate, to uplift, to be appreciated. So today, let us reflect on how to protect our sacred energy and learn to walk away from places where our presence is treated like absence. Because the soul blossoms only where it is watered with value, not where it is ignored. When we speak about value, most people immediately think of money, position, or possessions. But let me tell you something. True value is not in what you own, it is in how you are treated. Respect is the mirror that reflects back your worth. Imagine this. You bring a beautiful flower into a room. You place it in a vase with water, and everyone who enters the room admires it, appreciates it, and enjoys its fragrance. That flower feels valued because its presence is acknowledged. But if you bring that same flower into a place where people don't care, where it is left in a corner to wither, without water, without attention, its beauty dies without ever being noticed. The flower didn't change, only the environment changed. In the same way, you do not lose your value when people ignore you. You only lose your growth when you stay in an environment where your value is not respected. Think of your daily life. At work, maybe you give your best effort. You stay late, finish tasks on time, and try to bring creative ideas. But no matter how much you do, it feels like your boss doesn't notice, your team doesn't appreciate, and your contributions vanish into silence. In such a situation, what happens? Slowly, your energy goes down, your motivation weakens, and you start questioning your own worth. Not because you are not capable, but because you are not in an environment that reflects your value. On the other hand, imagine a workplace where your effort is recognized even with small words like thank you or well done. Suddenly, you feel more alive, more energetic, and more willing to give. It is not money that fuels you, it is respect. The same is true in relationships. You can give your heart to someone, constantly check on them, care for them, make sacrifices, and stand by them. But if they ignore you, if they take your presence for granted, if your effort doesn't even get a simple acknowledgement, then it drains your soul. Love is not only about giving, it is about giving in a space where your love is also received and valued. Otherwise, it is like playing beautiful music to a room of people wearing headphones. Your effort is real, but it reaches no one. And after a while, you feel like giving up, not because love is wrong, but because love has to flow both ways to stay alive. This is why valuing yourself is so important. If you keep giving your best in places where no respect exists, you become like a river flowing into a desert. The water keeps coming, but the soil never responds. No greenery grows, no life flourishes, only dryness expands. But the same river, when directed into fertile soil, creates life, abundance, and beauty all around. The river doesn't need to stop flowing, it just needs the right direction. In the same way, you don't have to stop giving your best, you only need to choose the right soil, the people, places, and environments where your energy is respected. Even spiritually, this is true. God has given you a limited amount of time and energy each day. If you spend that precious energy on people who don't care, or on environments where your presence is ignored, then you are not just hurting yourself. You are disrespecting the divine gift of life that God has given you. When you protect your energy and place it in spaces that value it, you are honoring God's gift. You are saying, I know what I carry inside me is sacred, and I will not waste it where it is trampled. Look around you and you will see this wisdom in nature too. Birds don't waste time singing where no one listens. They fly to a new branch and sing again. The sun doesn't stop shining because some people close their curtains. It continues to shine where it is welcomed. Similarly, you must continue to shine, but don't stand outside the door of those who refuse to open their hearts to your light. Shine where you are seen, grow where you are watered, and give where you are valued. So ask yourself today, are you giving your best in a place where you are respected, or in a place where you are invisible? If it is the second, it's time to pause and redirect your energy. Don't be afraid to step away from environments that don't see your worth. It is not your job to convince people of your value. Your only job is to live in a way that honors the divine inside you. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right environments will always respect and cherish you without you having to beg for it. Remember this: value flows where respect exists. Where you are respected, you will grow. Where you are ignored, you will wither. Choose wisely, because your energy is not unlimited. Don't pour your divine light into places that refuse to see it. Place yourself where respect is present and watch your soul blossom like a flower in the sunlight of acknowledgement. Silence is often misunderstood. Many people think silence means nothingness and absence of communication. But in reality, silence is one of the strongest forms of communication. Sometimes silence carries a louder message than 1,000 spoken words. In our lives, when someone ignores us, they may not always say it directly, but their silence is a clear answer. God speaks through signs, and one of those signs is the silence we receive from others. If someone continuously ignores your efforts, your presence, and your care, then that silence is telling you something very important. It is telling you to stop knocking on a closed door. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a person who goes to the same shop every day to buy something. Each time he stands there calling the shopkeeper, but the shopkeeper never comes out, never answers, never opens the door. After some days, the customer begins to realize maybe this shop is closed forever. In the same way, in our relationships or workplaces, when we keep putting in effort, but all we receive is silence, we need to realize that the door is closed. Continuing to wait there is not strength, it is blindness. Think about your daily interactions. You message someone with love, but they never reply. You share your heart with someone, but they act as if you never spoke. You try to support a friend in their time of need, but when you need them, they are nowhere to be found. This pattern of silence is not coincidence. It is a message. The message is, I do not value this connection the way you do. Many times, we try to excuse this by saying, maybe they are busy, maybe they forgot, maybe they didn't see. But when silence becomes a consistent behavior, it stops being an accident and starts becoming the truth. In the spiritual sense, silence is also guidance. God does not always speak to us in words. Sometimes He answers through the behavior of people around us. He shows us who deserves our energy and who doesn't. The silence of others is not meant to break you. It is meant to guide you. It is God's way of saying, don't waste your time here. Your energy belongs somewhere else. Instead of feeling hurt by silence, learn to listen to it. Because silence is not empty, it is full of answers. Let's look at another daily life example. Imagine a student who constantly raises his hand in class to answer questions, but the teacher never calls on him, never acknowledges his hand. Eventually, the student feels invisible. He may start doubting his knowledge, questioning his intelligence. But is the problem with the student? No. The problem is with the teacher's blindness. If the student understands this, he will stop seeking validation from that teacher and focus on other opportunities where his voice will be heard. The same lesson applies to life. Don't confuse silence with your own lack of worth. The silence is not about you being unworthy. It is about the other person not being capable of seeing your value. Many people stay stuck in relationships, friendships, or workplaces where silence is the only response they get. And the tragedy is, they think that one day, if they just keep trying harder, silence will suddenly turn into words of appreciation. But the truth is, the more you knock on a closed door, the more time you waste. Meanwhile, life is passing, energy is draining, and the places where you could truly shine are waiting for you. Silence is also a test of your dignity. When you receive no reply, no recognition, no acknowledgement, do you keep begging for it? Or do you step back and respect yourself enough to say, if they cannot see me, I will not force them to. Dignity is knowing when to stop explaining, when to stop asking, and when to stop proving. It is the courage to walk away with grace, trusting that God will open another door where silence will be replaced by genuine acknowledgement. One of the deepest lessons silence teaches is that you don't need to chase validation. If someone's silence hurts you, it is because you were expecting sound from them. But when you stop expecting, silence becomes peaceful. It no longer hurts you, it frees you. You start realizing that silence is not rejection, it is redirection. It redirects you away from those who cannot value you toward those who will. Even in nature, silence has meaning. When the forest suddenly becomes quiet, animals know that danger is near. When the sky grows silent before the storm, it signals a change. Similarly, when people give you silence, it is not nothing. It is a sign of change. It means the relationship is not what you thought it was. It means the workplace is not the right soil for your growth. It means your energy must now be redirected. So the next time you face silence, don't see it as a punishment. See it as guidance. Don't cry at the closed door. Thank God for showing you the truth early, so you don't waste your life waiting there. Remember, silence speaks louder than words. It tells you where your energy does not belong. Respect that message and move on with your dignity intact. Because when you stop forcing doors to open, you make space for the right doors to welcome you. And in those spaces, your presence will never be ignored. Every morning when you open your eyes, God has blessed you with a new deposit of energy, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. This energy is not unlimited. It is like a battery, charged fresh at the start of the day. How you choose to use that battery decides the quality of your life. If you spend it in the wrong places, with the wrong people, and on meaningless things, by the time you need it for what truly matters, it will already be drained. That is why you must understand. Your energy is sacred. It is not something to be wasted carelessly. It is divine fuel entrusted to you for a purpose. Think about your daily routine. You wake up and immediately pick up your phone. Within minutes, your energy is already being consumed, scrolling, comparing, reading things that don't add value to your life. By the time you stand up, half of your inner charge is gone. Now imagine instead, if you started your day with a deep breath, a quiet prayer, or a moment of gratitude, instantly, your energy is directed inward and upward. You feel centered. You feel alive. The same hour was given to you by God, but the way you spent your energy changed everything. The same happens with people. Have you noticed that some people lift you up while others drain you completely? You can spend 1 hour with a person who values you, and you walk away feeling full, motivated, alive. And then you can spend just 10 minutes with someone who ignores, criticizes, or disrespects you, and your entire day feels heavy. Why? Because your energy is sacred, and where you invest it decides whether you expand or shrink. Imagine you have a small bag of gold coins. Would you walk into the marketplace throwing them around to people who don't even care? Of course not. You would carefully choose where to invest, where it would bring the best return. In the same way, your energy is more precious than gold, yet so often we spend it like cheap coins, arguing with people who don't matter, seeking attention from people who don't care, giving endless effort in places where there is no respect. At the end, we feel empty, not because we didn't have energy, but because we wasted it where it never belonged. There's a beautiful truth here. Energy flows like water. If you pour water into a cup with holes at the bottom, it will keep leaking until nothing is left. But if you pour the same water into a strong vessel, it will stay, grow, and even quench thirst. Likewise, if you keep giving your sacred energy to places that leak, people who ignore you, environments that don't value you, you will always feel drained. But if you direct your energy into meaningful work, loving relationships, spiritual practices, and self-growth, it multiplies, nourishes, and flows back to you. Think of the workplace again. You may be in a job where no matter how much effort you give, no one notices, no one values, and no one appreciates. Every project feels like shouting into an empty room. Day by day, your energy drains, your motivation dies, and your creativity fades. Yet the same person, when placed in an environment where effort is acknowledged, suddenly becomes alive. The energy is the same, the person is the same, but the direction changes everything. This is why protecting your energy is not selfish, it is survival. On a personal level too, this matters. Relationships where you are ignored will eat away at your peace. A friend who constantly takes from you but never gives back will silently rob you of your strength. A family member who criticizes more than they encourage will weaken your spirit. You cannot control how people behave, but you can control how much of your sacred energy you hand over to them. Choosing to step back is not weakness, it is wisdom. Because when you withdraw your energy from where it is wasted, you have more to give where it will blossom. Even spiritually, this truth shines. God has given you energy to evolve, to grow closer to Him, to uplift yourself and others. But when you spend your days running after people who don't see your worth, when you use your strength only to chase approval, then the energy that could have been used for your growth is lost. You are like a lamp trying to light a room where no one wants light, while forgetting that there are thousands of dark corners waiting for your flame. Redirect your energy. Your divine purpose is bigger than being ignored. Look at nature for guidance. The sun shines every day, But if you stand under a roof, you will miss its warmth. Does the sun waste time trying to shine through your closed walls? No, it continues shining for those who step out to receive it. Your energy should be the same. Do not burn yourself trying to be seen by those who close their hearts. Continue shining for the ones who are open to your light. So, my friends, guard your energy like treasure. Don't waste it in endless arguments. Don't pour it into silent walls. Don't hand it over to people who cannot see its value. Remember, once the battery is drained, the day cannot be recharged. Spend wisely. Give to people and places that uplift you, that make you grow, that reflect the divine within you. And most importantly, give some of that sacred energy back to yourself, to rest, to reflect, to connect with God. Because the more you protect your energy, the more you will live with peace, dignity, and purpose. Many people in this world confuse walking away with weakness. They think leaving a place, a relationship, or a situation where they are being ignored or disrespected means they are giving up. But let me tell you, walking away is not giving up, it is growing up. It is not defeat, it is dignity. There is no weakness in saying, I deserve better than this. In fact, it takes far greater strength to walk away with grace than to stay in a place that is silently killing your spirit. Think about it. If a bird is kept in a cage for too long, it might forget that it was born to fly. It might believe that the cage is its whole world. But the moment that bird spreads its wings and flies away, it reclaims its true nature. Was it weakness that made the bird leave the cage? No. It was strength, courage, and the remembrance of its worth. In the same way, when you walk away from people who ignore you, when you remove yourself from environments that don't see your value, you are not being weak. You are setting your soul free. In daily life, this is something all of us face. You give your best in a relationship, but the other person keeps treating you as if you don't exist. You try to contribute in your workplace, but no one even notices your effort. You try to be a good friend, but your kindness is met with silence. And deep inside, you know this is draining you, yet you stay. Why? Because you're afraid of being alone, afraid of change, afraid of what others will say. But the truth is, staying in places where you are ignored is far lonelier than walking away. When you stay, you betray yourself. When you walk away, you honor yourself. Walking away is also a test of faith. It means trusting that if God closes one door, it is because He is preparing another. Many times we cling to closed doors out of fear, while God is whispering, let go, so I can guide you to something better. Just like a child who refuses to drop the broken toy, even though the parent wants to give them a new one, we sometimes hold on to people or situations that no longer serve us. But when you walk away, you are telling God, I trust your plan more than my fear. And that is where real strength lies. Let me give you an example. Imagine a gardener who keeps pouring water on a dead plant. No matter how much he waters it, no matter how much sunlight he gives, the plant does not respond. The leaves are dry, the roots are gone, and there is no life left. Now, is it weakness if the gardener decides to stop watering that plant and instead give his care to another plant that can bloom? No, it is wisdom, it is strength. It is knowing where life exists and where it doesn't. Walking away is exactly that. It is choosing to stop investing your sacred energy in what is dead and instead directing it to what is alive. People often say, but isn't staying patient a virtue? Shouldn't I keep trying? Yes, patience is a virtue, but self-destruction is not. There is a fine line between being patient and being blind. Patience means giving time to things that can grow. But if something consistently ignores you, disrespects you, and devalues you, then staying is not patience. It is neglecting your own soul. Walking away is not about bitterness or hatred. It doesn't mean you wish them harm. It simply means you wish yourself peace. You no longer want to live where your worth is unseen. Even in nature, walking away is strength. Look at rivers, they don't stop at rocks. They don't keep banging themselves against obstacles endlessly. They simply change their course and find another way forward. The river knows that its purpose is to flow, not to prove its power to a single rock. In the same way, your purpose is to live, to shine, to grow, not to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. Walking away doesn't mean you stop flowing. It means you've chosen to flow elsewhere where life is possible. Another beautiful truth is this: walking away inspires others. When people see you stand up for your worth, when they see you quietly but firmly leave places that dishonor you, they learn from you. You become an example that dignity is more important than approval. That peace is more valuable than being liked. That self-respect is higher than pleasing others. And sometimes your decision to walk away even teaches the ones who ignored you what your presence truly meant. So remember, walking away is not weakness. Weakness is staying in pain because you're afraid of change. Strength is walking away even when it hurts, because you know you deserve peace. Weakness is begging for attention from people who clearly don't care. Strength is saying, I will not beg because my value does not depend on your recognition. Weakness is betraying yourself for the sake of others. Strength is honoring yourself for the sake of God who created you with worth. The next time you feel stuck in a place where you are ignored, ask yourself, am I staying because of love, or am I staying because of fear? If it is fear, then it is time to walk away. Don't see it as leaving something behind. See it as walking toward your true worth. You are not running away, you are rising up. And when you rise, God opens new paths, new doors, and new people who see your light, not ignore it. Walking away is not weakness, my friends. It is courage, it is wisdom, it is self-respect, and most importantly, it is faith in God's plan. Because only those who have faith can leave the wrong place, knowing the right place is waiting.